So here we are in Bethlehem. Yes, that famous Bethlehem. But today, we're not talking about a star or wise men. We're diving into a story that's a lot darker and way more complicated. Meet Eli, a Levite who's got himself in quite the relationship pickle. Eli heads down to Bethlehem to sort things out with his concubine, Sarah. Imagine showing up, heart in your hands, ready to fix things up. And there's her dad, super welcoming, kind of making it hard for anyone to leave. He keeps saying, "Stay another day, have some more food." You know how persuasive dads can be when it comes to protecting their daughters. After what feels like 1,000,001 more nights, they finally hit the road back to Eli's place in Ephraim. But here's where it gets tricky. They decide to bypass the bustling, foreign streets of Jebus. Instead, they aim for a safer spot among their own folks in Gibeah. Seems smart, right? But Gibeah's not rolling out the welcome mat. Night's falling, and there they are, stuck in the town square, no one offering a bed or even a barn. Total cold shoulder from their own tribe. Just when it seems like they might have to camp out under the stars, this old-timer from Ephraim spots them. He's like, "Hey, you can't sleep here, come on over to my place." Pretty lucky break, right? But hold on to your hats, because this is where things take a wild turn. They're barely settled in when, bam, there's a banging on the door. It's not just a neighbor complaining about the noise. Nope, it's a mob with intentions so vile you won't believe it. So Eli and Sarah, they're finally inside, thinking, phew, close call with the whole sleeping outdoors thing, right? They're in this guy's house, probably unwinding, maybe even cracking open a jug of wine to share. Little do they know, the real drama's just about to start. As night creeps deeper, there's a sudden knock. No, not a knock, more like a violent pounding at the door. It's not the welcome wagon, it's a mob from the town. And let me tell you, they aren't there to sing Kumbaya. "Send out the man who came to your house," they yell. Can you imagine? You're just trying to catch some Z's, and there's this angry gang wanting to drag you out into the night. It's like something out of a horror movie. Now, our host, this old man, he's in a tight spot. He goes to the door, tries to talk some sense into these guys. He's like, "Fellas, come on, don't do this vile thing." But the mob's not having it. They're fired up, and not in a good way. And here's where it gets really twisted. The old man, desperate to protect his guest, makes a shocking offer. His own daughter and Sarah. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a horrific moment, showing just how bad things have gotten. Unfortunately, the mob agrees, and they take Sarah out. What happens next is too gruesome for words. It's a long, terrible night for her, marking one of the darkest chapters in biblical stories. As dawn breaks, there's this gut-wrenching scene right at the doorstep. Eli steps out, hoping for a new start to their day, only to find Sarah, lifeless, right there where the threshold meets the morning dew. It's a sight that shakes him to his core, but this story isn't just about the horror of that night. It's about what comes after, the fallout, the outcry, and a call to arms that ripples through the tribes of Israel. So, there's Eli, standing at the doorway, and there lies Sarah, a silent testament to the night's horrors. The weight of what happened hits him hard. But Eli's response, it's something that shakes the very foundations of their society. He doesn't just weep or mourn in silence. No, Eli has something else in mind, something drastic. He decides to make a call to action that no one could ignore. Eli takes Sarah's body and, brace yourselves, he cuts it into 12 pieces. It's gruesome, yes, but understand, this is a deeply symbolic act, not just an outburst of grief. Each piece he sends to a different tribe of Israel. Imagine being one of those receiving a piece. It's a shock tactic, a wake-up call that screams, "Look, see what we've become. See what's been done under our watch." It's his way of demanding justice, of calling every tribe to account for the darkness that's fallen over the land. And you know what? It works. The tribes, Horrified and outraged, they come together. They can't ignore such a call. It leads to a national assembly, a gathering of forces united not just in grief, but in anger. What follows is a series of events that spirals into almost civil war. It's intense and it's violent. This isn't just about vengeance. It's about seeking justice, about trying to cleanse a rot that's set into the heart of their community. This story, as dark as it is, forces us to look at the harsh realities they faced and the drastic measures they felt compelled to take. And here we are, thousands of years later, still talking about it. After the dust settles, the tribes face a grim reality. Nearly an entire tribe, the Benjaminites, has been decimated. Just a handful remain. The Israelites are left grappling with the fallout of their own actions. How to move forward from such a devastating conflict? The Israelites' next challenge is reconciling the need for justice with the survival of a tribe. They've sworn an oath, no one to give their daughters to the Benjaminites, further complicating the tribe's restoration. It's a catch-22 that puts them in a real bind. Imagine this. They've fought to uphold moral integrity, but now they face a moral dilemma of another kind. How do you rebuild a tribe without breaking another solemn vow? Their solution. It's as creative as it is controversial. They find a loophole. During a festival in Shiloh, where young women dance in celebration, the Israelites instruct the remaining Benjaminites to catch wives for themselves. It's not exactly the best solution, but it shows their desperation to mend the fractures within their nation without breaking their oath. And just like that, a temporary peace is patched together, but it's fragile, held by the thinnest of threads. The story of Gibeah, the war it incited, and the uneasy resolutions that followed are a testament to the complexities of justice, mercy, and communal responsibility. As we leave behind the tumultuous tales of Judges, we find ourselves back in the present, yet the echoes of the past still resonate deeply. What happened in Gibeah isn't just a tale of ancient Israel, it's a mirror reflecting age-old human behaviors and the ever-present challenge of moral decision-making. Today, we're confronted with our own Gibeahs, our own moments where society seems on the brink, where the choices of a few can lead to consequences for many. It begs the question, how do we respond to the Gibeahs of our world? How do we handle justice and mercy when they seem at odds? Look around, and you'll see. It's not all grim. There are countless individuals and communities striving to find balanced solutions, to mend rather than tear further, to build bridges where walls might have stood. It's in these efforts that we find modern-day lessons from ancient woes.